I've seen other people who are much more well-organized with flexibility, and I've seen people who are just completely rigid, where there is no flexibility. I've known polygamists who wouldn't even stay with his wife on her birthday because that was out of the sync with the schedule. Celebrate your birthday on the night that I stay with. For me, I believe, in retrospect, that my style of living plural marriage was a little bit too flexible.
Robyn's idea of control is straight up hoarding family resources like a doomsday prepper who thinks the apocalypse is coming, except she's only preparing for snack time. I mean, imagine taking all the family grocery money and then pulling a full-on these are display snacks only routine and making sure the original kids know their place. This is the same woman who would withhold a single cheese stick from a child. But we're supposed to believe she's totally fine with Kody getting all cozy with the other wives. Like Vienna sausages on a romantic getaway. Sure, Robyn, whatever you say. If she wanted certain snacks off limits, she could have at least had the decency to set up a snack drawer with a big "Do Not Touch" label. I had 5 elementary school kids at one point. Naturally, some snacks had to be off limits to make sure there were enough for packed lunches, but I also had a snack stash that the kids could raid and share with their friends. But Robyn, she waltzed in with her own rules and couldn't be bothered to compromise. And the cherry on top of this Snackgate disaster? Last week, I watched as the OG kids were munching on portion-controlled, generic cereal. Meanwhile, Robyn's daughter Brianna was over in the corner, living the high life with a full-on turkey, cheese, and bagel sandwich on a plate with chips, a meal, not a snack, while Robyn was over there complaining about the other kids snacking on her subpar cereal. No sandwich, no chips, just cereal for everyone else. How fair is that? We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Christine's goodbye sit-down was absolutely unbearable to watch. I could feel my skin crawling. Seriously, how did Robyn have the audacity to deny Christine her truth and her experience? Meanwhile, Mary just sat there, lost in her own little world, probably stewing with jealousy because Christine was actually getting out. I'm not the only one who wanted to crawl out of my skin during that whole exchange, right? Barf. And then there's the whole mess with Kody and the knife. Just watching how they treated Christine was gut-wrenching. You could practically see the abuse she was enduring, and that idiot with the kidney nonsense made it worse. I'm so relieved that Christine and Janelle finally escaped. I'm also in awe of Christine's insane level of self-control. I would have been calling Robyn and Kody out in front of everyone, exposing every dirty little secret, airing their laundry for the world to see. Someone seriously needs to investigate the finances around all of this. I swear if they just sweep this under the rug and give Kody a pass again, I'll lose it. Robyn's denial about the issues between Christine and Kody? Bizarre. She's pretending like it didn't happen, even though it's literally on tape. There are multiple scenes, especially in the earlier seasons, where Christine openly says how miserable her marriage was and how she was thinking about leaving. She was crystal clear from the start, so how is Robyn acting like it's a surprise? Robyn is hanging on to her delusions for dear life, but it's not even helping her anymore. She's clinging to those rose-colored glasses long after they've stopped working. Honestly, watching that scene just confirmed how abusive Kody and Robyn were toward Christine. When Kody walked past her and raised his hand like he was about to hit her, that was terrifying. I have no doubt that if the cameras weren't there, he would have. And Robyn, I think she would have loved every minute of it. Robyn and her kids. Oh, what a picture-perfect dynamic. Let's talk about her 2 oldest daughters, shall we? Sure. They're adults now, and we could say they're emotional victims of their mother. But guess what? 2 things can be true at once. Yes, they've clearly been manipulated by Robyn, but let's not pretend they haven't soaked up some lessons from her along the way. If they were actually good people, maybe they'd, I don't know, acknowledge the reality of their father abandoning all of his other children instead of reaping the benefits of it. Maybe they'd call him out on his nonsense. But no, playing the innocent card seems to work just fine for them. Let's not forget Brianna, who was practically a schoolyard bully, and Savannah, who's totally innocent, right? Oh wait, wasn't she the one who completely ignored Savannah when they went to school together? Classic narcissistic behavior, am I right? They're cut from the same cloth as their mother. Villains, through and through. And don't even get me started on the truth these girls have been fed. They've been told that the OGs don't want them, aren't loyal, don't respect Kody, and wish they never joined the family. Yeah, that sounds like a really well-balanced perspective. Fingers crossed that A and B actually grow up, open their eyes, and learn the truth. Wouldn't that be something? Is it just me, or does anyone else get that cringy, secondhand embarrassment feeling when Robyn's older daughters pop up on screen? Whether it's the whole baptism drama or the ear-piercing incident, I can't help but think, aren't these girls in their 20s? Seriously, they act like they're still in middle school, and it's concerning. The way they behave is deeply unsettling. I mean, the poor things can't even talk to their mom without bursting into tears. The facial expressions? Just odd, to say the least. It's like there's a whole lot of unresolved trauma in that house. And when you compare them to the OG3 kids, it's like night and day. Those kids are always laughing, smiling, interacting like normal humans. It's honestly sad to see how Robyn has messed them up. The only time these girls seem real is when they're having full-on meltdowns or panic attacks. Otherwise, they just seem to be parroting whatever lines they've been told to say. It's like Robyn is this over-the-top stage mom, pushing them to appear like saints while making the rest of the kids look like total hellions. Honestly, it makes so much sense why she didn't want them filmed much when they were younger, because apparently her kids deserve privacy, but the rest of them, not so much. It's always been weird. Let's play a fun game. Guess what's hiding in the SO's purses? You know, those purses. Yeah, those. Here's what I think they're carrying. Mary. Oh, Mary would definitely have gum, just not the boring spearmint stuff. Something with a little more personality. She's probably got photos of Leon and Audrey, a notepad for jotting down inspirational quotes for her next Worthy Up seminar, because, of course, and a keychain that says "Ditch that bitch" with a hilarious picture of her and Jen. Classic. Janelle. I imagine Janelle's bag is practical, just like her. Think Visine for those tired eyes, chapstick for her never-ending quest for smooth lips, photos of her kids, grandkids, and maybe a few of her beloved dogs. Oh, and let's not forget the tree-shaped keychain, because nature, right. Plus, receipts from places she'll never remember visiting and some tea bags for when she just needs a moment to herself. Christine, a big fun purse for a big fun personality. Sunglasses, because sunshine's a vibe, plus a stash of photos of her kids and grandbabies. Scrunchies for when the hair needs saving, snacks because, let's be real, she's always ready for a bite. And of course, a photo of her and David, because love, duh. And just for kicks, maybe a voodoo doll keychain of someone she used to know. You know, just a little something extra. Robyn. Oh, Robyn, my dear. I'd bet she's got a whole wardrobe in there. I'm talking entire doll dresses, maybe for when she's feeling extra fashionable, or maybe when she's in the mood to dress up like a puppet master. Who knows? But let's not forget her favorite accessory. Baldilocks' shriveled balls and a whole lot of audacity. Oh, and a reminder of the OG3's money tucked somewhere in there. Because why not? So, what do you think? Did I miss anything? I think I've cracked the mystery of what Kody wanted all along, besides the obvious cash flow, of course. It all comes down to one thing, his ego. The guy thrives on attention, and if he can't get it the way he wants, he'll manipulate everyone around him to keep feeding it. Here's how he did it with each wife. First, Christine. He wanted her to beg for sex. She wanted to feel desired and attractive, so naturally, Kody thought, what better way to manipulate her than to make her work for it? When she didn't cave and instead had the audacity to leave and find someone who actually appreciated her, Kody's fragile little ego couldn't handle it. The idea that she would have the confidence to leave, stay gone, and find happiness? Yeah, that shattered his delusion of control. Cue the tantrum. Then there's Janelle. He wanted her to beg for his company. Oh, like some sort of puppy who'd chase him around if he ignored her long enough. When that didn't happen, surprise, surprise, he tried the classic, take her out for her birthday move, thinking it would get her to beg for more of his presence. Spoiler alert, it didn't. He kept waiting for her to chase him, but instead, she just didn't. Epic fail. Next up, Mary. He treated her like garbage on purpose, because, deep down, he really just wanted her to beg for his love. It was all about breaking her down until she couldn't resist. But when even Mary had enough and walked away, that was the real punch to his ego. Apparently, he thought that if he made her jump through enough hoops, she'd beg him to love her. But no, she realized he wasn't worth the effort. Ouch. Now Robyn, she's the one who knows exactly how to stroke his ego. She's got the magic formula. Cater to him, tell him how wonderful he is, and voila, he's putty in her hands. It's not about love, it's about admiration. As long as she keeps feeding that narcissistic need of his, and keeps the knickknacks flowing, their relationship will be just fine. And then there's Coyote Pass. Since Kody can't exactly punish Christine with money, he's been trying to use it as a bargaining chip to get Mary and Janelle back in line. But surprise, surprise, it's not working. And the more it fails, the more bitter he gets. He can't stand the fact that three women, mind you, decided he wasn't worth the trouble. The reality that he's the one who's not good enough is absolutely destroying him, so naturally he lashes out at all of them. Classic Kody. Has Kody ever addressed the whole narcissist label? I can't recall any time when a producer just straight up asked him or Robyn, "So, are you a narcissist?" In all these seasons, it feels like something they dodge, but has it ever happened? Sure, they probably want to keep that fourth wall intact, but come on, the constant stream of viewers calling them narcissists since the first season has got to have had some effect, right? They must have some thoughts or feelings about it. Though, let's be real, I highly doubt either one would answer with anything even remotely close to meaningful. Wouldn't you agree? Robyn's Etsy addiction. Yeah, something's definitely off with her. Spending a small fortune on dolls and doll clothes? That's not just a hobby, it's a red flag. The other wives must know too, which is probably why they don't push her buttons as much. And here's the real kicker. I think Kody prefers her holed up at home with her dolls, rather than interacting with actual people. It's almost like he's relieved to have her distracted. Meanwhile, those poor kids stuck with her are likely crying out for help. Remember back in the day, on that old Duggar forum, someone dropped a theory that Robyn had serious mental health issues, and that's why Kody couldn't leave her alone for long. He'd do everything he could to hide it, keep the facade up for the cameras. Honestly, I'm starting to believe it. You can feel something's off at the She-Ra mansion, but proving it, that's the tricky part. Then I saw her Etsy purchase history, and her comments, yeah, it all clicked. Robyn is definitely struggling mentally. A doll collection? Fine, whatever. But with everything else we've seen from her, that's just plain disturbing. Could she be mentally stuck at a child or adolescent level? Just look at her interviews. She often seems like she's on something, refusing to take responsibility for anything, racking up insane debt, showing zero empathy, lying on camera constantly, needing to be told the same thing over and over, breaking into tears and throwing tantrums like a toddler. The way her kids act around her says it all. Robyn's in desperate need of help. And seriously, does Kody even know how much money she's blowing on dolls and other nonsense? Someone should send him a detailed breakdown of her spending. For a guy who's terrified of being poor, he really picked the wrong wife, didn't he? Janelle? Oh, she must be fuming. She worked so hard to be frugal for the sake of the family, and meanwhile, Robyn's out there dropping tens of thousands on what exactly? A bunch of plastic dolls and random junk. Classic? Robyn. I finally caved and watched the show, and let me tell you, the anxiety I have from watching everything go smoothly until Robyn enters the scene is off the charts. But honestly, the real kicker is how Kody and Robyn are acting like they're sneaking around in high school, all giddy and in love, while Christine's over here about to pop out her sixth baby, preparing for labor. Like, can we get some priorities straight? And Robyn's whole dry crying routine. I'm already done. Seriously, I can't. And here's the thing. I don't buy that things were all sunshine and rainbows before Robyn showed up. I don't think anyone was being remotely honest with the viewers in that first episode, let alone with themselves. Before the show, were they all just living off Janelle's inheritance? Well, in 2006, Janelle decided to buy the Lehigh house. And how did she do that? Oh, just casually dipping into a $249,000 inheritance and taking out a loan for $83,000. Not a big deal, right? Then, nearly 2 years later, she adds Kody to the deed, and that's when the real fun began. To make it official, they transferred ownership from just Janelle to both of them, and the loan was suddenly only $50,000. But here's the thing. It's highly doubtful this was a refinance of the original $83,000 loan, since it hadn't been paid down enough in just 2 years to make that plausible. 2 months later, surprise, surprise, they transfer the deed again, and boom, another loan for $417,000. If they paid off the earlier loans, and we can only hope they did, they walked away with a cool $239,000 in cash. Then, 6 months later, at the end of 2008, they slap on a HELOC for $45,000. Just adding to the pile, right? Fast forward to 2016, when they finally sold the house. A buyer came along, took out a $300,000 loan, and the house probably sold for at least that amount, covering all the loans they'd taken out over the years. But looking at this whole saga, it seems Janelle essentially sunk $250,000 into a house just for the family to live in. And what did they do? Oh, casually drained the equity like it was their personal ATM. By the time they sold the house, they were already living in the cul-de-sac homes, probably upside down on the Lehigh property until that sale. Otherwise, they would have sold it earlier to fund the Vegas move. So let's get real here. Janelle did a lot for the family's finances, and if she wants to buy an RV or a big truck, nobody should have a word to say about it. The woman used money that she could have just hidden away where no one could find it, especially not Kody. And then, after all that, the 4 years where Janelle's financial contributions basically held the family together, Kody turns around and uses the proceeds from her Vegas house for Robyn's mansion. Oh, the audacity. Which brings me to Christine and Janelle's married couple energy. I mean, after all of this, how could you not see it? Mary and Kody probably contributed here and there, but let's be real, Janelle had access to the big pot of money. It also makes me wonder, did Robyn get wind of all this? Was that her aha moment? I bet she never expected Kody to have hundreds of thousands of dollars and multiple cars, even if those cars were uninsured and falling apart. For a family that was already scraping by the poverty line, they were living like the Clampetts. And now, everyone claims Janelle's so money-savvy. Sure, she used to handle the books, but given the amount of money this family has plundered over the years, the books are probably just filled with numbers written in crayon. I like Janelle overall, but let's not kid ourselves. Just because she's the only one who knows how to add doesn't make her a financial genius. Between her $401K inheritance and the profit from her Vegas house, they pretty much robbed that woman like a Walmart makeup aisle. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.